Legend of Yufei, Chapter 55.
In the sources, they actually set us up for this straight away. There's this couplet right at the start. Gunko tu krut.
Okay, unpack that for us. What's the significance there?
Well, it's doing two things. First, it's telling you this whole story is deliberately echoing older legends, ancient history.
Okay.
And second, it signals that what's about to happen, this character, Wang, pretending to surrender to the Jin, it's not just some clever trick. It's framed as an imitation of Yao Li, this figure from the past who famously cut off his own arm to trick an enemy.
Wow. So right away it's saying this isn't just tactics, this is something bigger, more extreme.
Exactly. It raises the stakes immediately. This isn't just a skirmish. It's presented as something almost demanded by history, sort of mythic necessity.
So let's get into why it was so bad. Why did they need to reach back for something like that? It all comes down to Lu Wenlong, this one warrior.
He was the problem. He was so good that Yufei had to use his famous defensive play, the Jaelun Zanfeng, the wheel battle tactic.
The wheel battle, that's about wearing the opponent down.
Exactly. It's pure attrition. You keep rotating fresh fighters against one really strong opponent, hoping to tire them out, neutralize this one superior guy that no single one of your soldiers can beat.
And Yufei threw his best at him first, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. His absolute A-team. His own son, Yu Yun, went first, then Yan Chengfeng, He Yonjing, and Zhang Jian, 4 top generals.
And the sources are really specific about Lu Wenlong's stamina, aren't they? Like how many rounds he fought.
They really are. It says he fights each of those 4, one after another, for about 30 rounds each. So what, nearly 120 rounds of intense combat? And he's still standing. It's almost superhuman.
Incredible.
And there's that little detail, too, where Zhang Jian, who uses a single spear, is sort of specifically taken aback by Lu Wenlong using double spears.
Yeah.
The text makes it clear this guy's just on another level.
But the tactic itself, the wheel battle, it was maybe too obvious.
Well, that was the problem. It worked tactically in that Lu Wenlong didn't just smash through them, but strategically.
Yeah.
Transparent. The Jin commander, Wu, he saw the rotation happening.
And he pulled his man back.
Yep. He apparently yelled something like, "Don't fall for Yunanman's trick," calling Yufei the southern barbarian. So he ordered a retreat. Lu Wenlong goes back to his camp, maybe thinking he won the day.
But Yufei didn't get the knockout blow he needed.
Exactly. The goal was to exhaust Lu Wenlong completely, take him off the board, and that failed because Wu was smart enough to see the pattern. So it's a draw, maybe, but a costly one for the Song.
Costly how? Just in terms of morale? Or...
Both. Morale definitely took a hit, but they also lost men. The sources mention Yufei having to bury fallen soldiers right after specifically these 2 Hu brothers. And then you see him ordering these frantic camp defenses, stacking up boulders, logs, clearly worried about a night raid. You can just feel the tension ratcheting up in the Song camp.
It must have been awful. And then Lu Wenlong comes back the next day.
He does. And Yufei, he's getting desperate now. He actually adds a 5th general, Yu Hualong, into the rotation, trying to, as the text says, press the formation. They're literally throwing everyone they can spare at this one guy.
It's interesting, though, that the Jin commander, Wu, was also worried.
Oh, very worried. It shows how valuable Lu Wenlong was. Wu actually comes out personally with his own generals just to watch, just to supervise.
Really?
Yeah, the text even mentions Wu calling Lu Wenlong his Wanger, which is like calling him son. It suggests Lu Wenlong wasn't just a soldier. He was like Wu's chosen champion, maybe even a surrogate heir.
So Wu knew if Lu Wenlong went down, the whole momentum could shift.
Precisely. But even with 5 generals rotating, fighting all day until dusk, they still couldn't beat him. The sources say it just ended in this big, messy, inconclusive brawl.
So 5 of your best generals come back, heads hanging, saying, we can't beat this one guy.
Yeah.
As the commander, Yufei, what do you even do then?
That's the breaking point, isn't it? That's when it shifts from just, tactical problems to something deeper, a kind of collapse.
So what does Yufei do?
The generals admit defeat. And Yufei is described as just shuttered. His brows are knitted together. His heart's just full of worry and sorrow. The wheel battle, his best defensive move, has failed utterly.
So conventional warfare is off the table.
Completely.
Okay.
And his only move left, strategically, is to basically admit defeat for the moment. He orders them to hang up the Minzan Pai.
The no-fight sign.
Yeah. It's more than just a timeout. It's a public declaration. We can't win right now. We need to stop.
Wow. Okay, so when the big, honorable collective strategy fails, where do you look?
Exactly. The honorable fight is over, which opens the door for something else. And that's where General Wang Zuo steps in.
Wang Ziu, what's his position?
He's a Tongzi, so a fairly high-ranking commander or general.
Yeah.
But he's sitting there apparently feeling ashamed.
Ashamed. He hasn't run away or anything, has he?
No, not at all. It's a different kind of shame. He feels like he hasn't done enough, hasn't achieved anything significant. The text says, no service of an inch or foot. Wei jil kunzi kung, since he joined Yu Fei's army.
So it's about contribution. High rank, high expectations.
Right. In that kind of honor culture, you needed to do things, big things, to justify your position. He felt indebted to Yu Fei, wanted to repay that kindness, but also, and this is crucial, he wanted historical fame.
He wanted his name to live on.
Yeah, to be flowingly transmitted in the historical records, Liu Zhuang Kenxing. He wasn't just thinking about the battle. He was thinking about his legacy.
Okay, but that's still a huge jump from I feel useless to to what he does next. How does he get the idea for this extreme plan?
It comes from history, from legend. The story goes he's having some wine, thinking, and he remembers the tale of Yao Li.
The guy you mentioned earlier who cut off his arm.
That's the one. Yao Li did it to get close to his assassination target, King Ji. By mutilating himself, he appeared convincingly betrayed and harmless, gaining trust.
Okay, I see the logic now, in a horrifying way.
Wang Zuo basically thinks the military problem is stuck. Maybe it's a deception problem now. And what's the most convincing proof of betrayal? Irreversible, self-inflicted harm.
If I look completely broken by my own side, the enemy will have to believe I'm genuine.
That's the calculation.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate, most costly form of bait. So Wang Zuo decides, right then and there, he'll copy Yao Li, sacrifice his own arm, pretend to defect, get into the Jin camp, and try to assassinate Wu Zu himself.
Knowing it's probably suicide.
Almost certainly. But he sees it as the only way to achieve both service and that lasting fame he craves.
Okay, so now we get to the act itself. And the text is pretty graphic, isn't it? It doesn't look away.
No, it doesn't. And you have to just stop and think about the sheer nerve, the mental strength required. He takes off his armor first.
Why? To make it easier.
Yeah, probably for a cleaner cut.
Yeah.
But symbolically, too, maybe. Stripping away his official identity. Then, text says, he drinks 10 large cups of wine.
To get drunk, numb the pain.
Possibly numb it a bit, but more likely, I think, to steel himself, for courage. Then he takes his sword. Yeah, And there's a sound effect in the text. How? Just like that. He cuts off his right arm, one clean stroke. The sound effect emphasizes the speed, the finality.
Yeah.
No hesitation. It's done.
And instantly he has to manage the situation, right? He can't just bleed out.
Right. He puts medicine on it, stops the bleeding. But then, crucially, he turns to his attendant, who must have been absolutely terrified.
I can imagine.
And he orders him strictly not to tell anyone. He calls it a secret grievance. He's already starting the deception. He wraps the severed arm in an old battle robe, hides it in his sleeve.
He's literally carrying the evidence of his supposed betrayal. He's turned himself into the proof.
Exactly. He is the message now. And he doesn't wait. He goes straight to Yu Fei's rear camps, the third watch, so middle of the night, maybe midnight or so.
And Yu Fei is still awake.
Yeah, the text says Yu Fei couldn't sleep, still worrying about the no-fight sign, the whole stalemate. So Wang Zuo finds him.
What must that meeting have been like? Yu Fei sees his general.
Horrifying. Yu Fei is shocked. Wang Zuo's face is described as waxen, like pale wax, and he's covered in fresh blood. Yu Fei immediately asks, what on earth happened?
And Wang Zuo just lays it out. The plan, the arm.
Straight to it. Explains the plan, shows Yu Fei the arm. And he anticipates Yu Fei's reaction. He knows Yu Fei, being a compassionate leader, will want to stalk him to say, no, this sacrifice is too much.
Of course.
So Wang Zuo cuts that off immediately. He argues, look, if I stay here, I'm useless anyway. A Fei Ren, a waste person, I can't fight with one arm.
He's saying he's already lost to the army in a way.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He's framing it as, my use now is in this deception. And then he delivers the ultimatum. He says if Yu Fei refuses to let him go, refuses to use this sacrifice, he'll kill himself right there on the spot.
To prove his sincerity. Or out of
So-
despair.
Both, probably. It forces Yu Fei's hand completely. Either sanction this horrific mission, or Wang Zuo dies anyway, and the sacrifice means nothing. The shame would be unbearable.
That's an impossible choice for a commander. Loyalty, necessity, horror, all wrapped up.
Absolutely. And so as I say, Yu Fei just cries. He sees the depth of Wang Zuo's resolve, understands the terrible necessity of the situation, maybe the only path left.
So he agrees.
He accepts the plan. He promises Wang Zuo he'll take care of his family, which is, the least and also the most he can do at that point.
And Wang Zuo just leaves. Then and there.
Immediately. Doesn't wait for dawn. Slips out of the Song camp, this one-armed, bleeding figure heading towards the enemy lines under the cover of darkness.
And that poetic description comes back at the end, right? That is ambition.
Yeah, it rounds it off perfectly. His act is described like he's selling his good hot blood, and his ambition, his drive, is like a long rainbow piercing the white sun. It confirms this wasn't just desperation. It was a conscious step into becoming a legend.
He wanted that historical fame, and this was the price.
He got it. His story absolutely became this defining moment of loyalty, sacrifice, and ensured his name would indeed be Liu Chuan King Shneng, transmitted through history.
Wang Zhu shows up at the Jin camp. Dawn. He needs to see Wuzu.
Yeah, and his appearance is key. He looks completely broken, pale, clothes stained with blood, like he's barely survived something terrible.
He's putting on a performance from the moment he arrives.
Absolutely. It's all calculated to support the story he's about to sell. He gets before Wuzu, kneels down, and launches into it.
And the story is?
He claims he was in a meeting with the Song general, the famous Yu Fei. Wang Zhu says he argued that the Jin forces were just too strong, overwhelming.
Like Mount Tai crushing an egg, I think the text says.
Exactly that phrase. And therefore, the Song should negotiate for peace.
Okay, so he's basically telling Wuzu he advised surrendering to him. But that sounds risky. Wouldn't Wuzu be suspicious, thinking it's a trick?
You'd think so, right? But here's where the genius or maybe the horror of the plan comes in. Wang Zhu doesn't just say Yu Fei disagreed.
No. What does he claim?
He claims Yu Fei exploded, accused him of treason right then and there, selling out the country.
Standard reaction for someone like Yu Fei, maybe? But still.
But then it gets physical.
Yeah.
And visceral.
Yeah.
Wang Zhu claims Yu Fei didn't just yell at him or exile him. He says Yu Fei, in his rage, cut off his arm.
Wait, what? Cut off his arm?
His arm. Right there in the meeting. And then, this is the kicker, Yu Fei supposedly ordered the now one-armed Wang Zhu to go to the Jin camp.
Ordered him? Why?
To deliver a threat personally to Wuzu. A warning that Yu Fei was coming for him. That he planned to capture Wuzu, kill him, flatten the entire Jin state. It's incredibly brazen.
So the severed arm becomes proof.
Proof of everything. Proof of his suffering, proof of Yu Fei's supposed cruelty, and proof of the threat. Wang Zhu then apparently bursts into tears.
And produces the arm.
Pulls the severed arm, which he'd hidden in his sleeve, right out. Presents it to Wuzu. Imagine that scene.
Wow. Okay, that's intense. You can't really ignore that kind of evidence, can you? A man missing a limb delivered with a death threat against you.
Exactly. And Wuzu's reaction, it's apparently immediate. He and his marshals, they feel pity for Wang Zhu, but also, crucially, anger.
Anger at Yu Fei.
Yeah, for being so ruthless, so cruel as to leave a man half dead, just to send a message. Wang Zhu played on Wuzu's emotions perfectly. He sidestepped all the strategic suspicion.
So Wuzu buys it completely.
Seems like it. He gives Wang Zhuo this title, Ku Renner.
Which means?
Something like suffering person or wretched fellow. It frames Wang Zhu as a victim.
And does that title come with any perks?
Oh, does it ever? This is the masterstroke. Wuzu issues an order, a universal command for all Jin forces.
Which is?
That this Ku Renner, this suffering man, must be allowed to reside everywhere and walk freely. Throughout all Jin camps, no restrictions.
So one arm buys him complete, unfettered access to the entire enemy infrastructure. Wow.
It's an incredible exchange, isn't it? He essentially traded flesh for intelligence. Total trusted access. He's seen not as a threat, but as someone pitiable.
What's fascinating here is that pathway to access. Not through strength or cunning in the usual sense, but through victimhood. Everyone feels sorry for him, so nobody's really watching him.
Precisely. And Wang Zhu himself, according to the text, sees this freedom as a sign that the Jinners are vulnerable, that their end is near.
Okay, so he has this free pass. What does he do with it?
He starts wandering, daily reconnaissance, just walking through the camps, and there's this interesting detail.
Yeah.
The lower-ranking soldiers, the auxiliary troops, the small melon, as this text calls them, they keep stopping him.
To do what?
They want to see the arm, or the stump, rather. It's like a morbid curiosity.
So his injury becomes this constant performance piece almost, reinforcing his cover story everywhere he goes.
Exactly. It keeps his manufactured identity alive and well among the rank and file,
Well,
makes his presence totally normal, unquestioned.
and eventually this wandering takes him somewhere specific.
Yes, he ends up at the camp of a general named Lu Wenlong. Wenlong isn't there when he arrives.
But he gets in anyway.
Yeah, a soldier lets him in. Inside the tent, he finds an old woman.
Okay. And
Wang Zhu starts talking to her, casually. But he immediately notices something. her accent.
Not a local Jin accent.
No. She sounds like she's from the Central Plains. Song territory. He asks her gently where she's from.
And she tells him.
She does. She's from Hsien-fu. Definitely Songlands. And then she reveals something huge.
This is it, isn't it? The vulnerability.
This is the jackpot. The old woman confides that she was Lu Wenlong's wet nurse. And that Lu Wenlong, he isn't really Jin.
He's Song.
He's a kidnapped son of a Song official, Master Lu Deng from Luanzhou. Wuzhou himself took him 13 years ago when he was just 3 years old.
Wow. A high-ranking Jin general is actually Song-born, raised by the enemy since infancy. That's a massive secret.
Massive, but also incredibly delicate. Wenlong has known nothing but the Jin way of life. Wang Zhu can't just expose him. That would backfire.
Right, he needs a different approach. Here's where it gets really interesting then. How does he use this information?
Well, a few days pass. And then Lu Wenlong himself invites Wang Zhuo, the coup renner, into his tent. Wants to share a meal, asks him to tell some stories.
Stories from where?
From the Central Plains. From Wenlong's lost homeland, though Wenlong doesn't consciously know it's his homeland.
Ah, so Wang Zhuo sees his opening? This is psychological warfare time.
Exactly. Phase 2. He doesn't tell war stories, though. He uses allegories. 2 very specific, carefully chosen tales.
Designed to do what? Trigger something in Wenlong.
Precisely. To subtly remind him of his roots, his true loyalty, without ever saying it directly. The first story is called The Yew-Bird Returning South.
Okay, what's that about?
It's about Shishi, a famous beauty, who gives a talented parrot to the king of Wu. But while the parrot is in Wu, this foreign land, it refuses to speak, not a word.
Until
Shishi takes it back home to the seat of Yu. Then suddenly the parrot starts talking again.
And the moral of the story is?
Pretty clear, right? Even a bird remembers where it came from. Its loyalty is innate. How could a person be less loyal than a bird?
How does Wenlong react to that one?
He doesn't like it. Calls the story no good. It seems maybe too close to home, too passive. Didn't resonate.
So Wang Zhu needs another angle.
He pivots immediately, changes tack. The second story appeals more to a warrior's sense of honor. It's called The Red Horse Facing North.
A horse story. Okay.
Yeah, about this incredible legendary horse, the Sun Moon Sushuang horse. It gets stolen from its home state, Zhao, by a Song general.
And taken to the Song capital.
Right, but when it gets there, this magnificent horse, it only neighs facing north, towards home.
What happens to it?
It refuses to eat, rejects everything offered in this foreign land, and after 7 days, it just dies, starves itself to death out of loyalty.
Okay, that's a powerful image. Loyalty unto death. How does Wenlong take that one?
This one hits the mark. Wenlong declares it a fine, righteous horse. He connects with the idea of noble loyalty, of choosing principle even over life.
So Wang Zhuo found the right frequency, not just passive memory, but active, honorable sacrifice.
Exactly. He's planting seeds. Using these resonant cultural stories, these metaphors of loyalty and homeland, to subtly undermine Wenlong's Jin identity. It's fascinating, isn't it? Information warfare fought with ancient tales.
It really is, using emotion and cultural symbols instead of direct confrontation.
But just as Wang Zhu is making this delicate progress with Wenlong, there's a shift. Things are heating up on the actual battlefield.
What happens?
A new player arrives at the Jin camp, Cao Ning. He's the son of another Jin leader, Cao Rong, sent by the old wolf master to reinforce Wuzhou.
More Jin muscle arriving. Does this worry Wuzhou?
Well, it reveals something interesting. Wuzhou actually confides in Cao Ning. He admits he's struggling.
Struggling against who? Yufei.
Yeah. He says something like dealing with this Yunnan man, meaning Yufei, winning is extremely formidable. He acknowledges how strong Yufei's army and generals are.
So even the Wolfmaster is feeling the pressure, despite kidnapping generals as babies and having guys cut off their own arms to join him.
It seems so. He sounds genuinely concerned about his chances against the Song forces under Yufei.
And how does this new guy, Cao Ning, react?
Cao Ning is described as having the courage of youth. He's eager, aggressive. He immediately volunteers to go out and fight Yufei himself.
So the tempo is picking up. There's an imminent clash coming.
Right, which puts Wang Zhuo's slow-burn psychological mission under sudden pressure. He needs Wenlong to crack, to switch sides, before this new wave of fighting potentially changes everything. The clock is ticking.